Welcome back to the Tahoe Real Estate Show. Got a couple of guests in studio today. We've got Adam from the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency and Jesse from Keep Tahoe Blue. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So we're talking about invasive species in today's show, and so what's some of the work that we've accomplished to date, Adam?
There's a lot of work that's happened around aquatic invasive species at Lake Tahoe over the past 10 years. Some of the projects that we're really proud of are the eradication of aquatic invasive plants, Eurasian mottled milfoil being a main one, from Emerald Bay. Such an iconic spot. We really didn't want to lose that beauty to aquatic invasive species. So that's one of our projects we're really proud of. Right. And then, we've been really successful with our partners in getting bottom barriers down to stem the growth of Asian clams around the lake. And yeah, those are a couple of the big ones that we're really proud of over the past 10 years.
So Jesse, every time I talk to you, on camera, off camera, a wealth of knowledge. Question for you. Global warming's affecting all communities. How's it affecting us here in Lake Tahoe?
Yeah, well, it's actually warming our waters quite a bit, and that might sound nice for people that want to swim, but it's not good for Lake Tahoe. It's supposed to be cold water, right?
Right.
And so these warming waters, it's been warming 10 times faster in the last 4 years than the previous 40.
Okay.
And what that means is these aquatic invasive plants that Adam's talking about can grow for longer periods of time. They show up sooner, they last longer, they reproduce more, they spread quicker.
If you go to the marinas or the homeowner channel in the Tahoe Keys, a lot of times you see the boats come in and out, and last year they installed a stop zone. What's that for?
Yeah, so a boat backup station, right? So yeah, there's 172 acres of lagoons at the Keys, 90% full of these plants, and they're getting out by boats. They attach to boat intakes, boat propellers, and boaters are unaware, right? And then they go to a pristine spot at Lake Tahoe and turn off their boat, and guess what falls off and makes a new home? So if we're ever going to solve the aquatic invasive species problem at Lake Tahoe, we will have to address the source, the Tahoe Keys, and they're actually looking at doing that like right now as we speak. So there's some exciting stuff.
As we speak, you're talking about the installation that was done here in May, right before Memorial Day weekend.
Correct.
Bubble curtain. How does that work?
Yeah, so the bubble curtain, right, sounds fancy. It's essentially a curtain of bubbles, and they put it across the channel of the Tahoe Keys that you mentioned there. And what it does is it keeps those plant fragments inside the Keys. There's also a boat backup station, which is an area with signage that encourages boaters to stop and reverse their props so those fragments fall off. And then the boat can travel right through the bubble curtain, which captures all the other fragments. So the idea is keep the problem inside the Tahoe Keys, don't let it spread out to the lake, and then we can work on a solution that'll be much more complex and take a lot longer to address what's inside the Keys.
What's the biggest threat to our lake?
Yep. Oh, that's a great question. Our lake faces a lot of threats. As far as the aquatic invasive species side of it goes, quagga and zebra mussels are really why we started the boat inspection programs 10 years ago, is because we saw them moving west, and we knew that we were a potential threat, or they were a potential threat to our lake. So that's really why we started the boat inspection program, make sure, and it's really become a national model.
There's a new app out, smartphone app, if you want to report any problems that you see out on the lake. What's the best way to go to that app?
Yeah, let me tell you a little about it. So Eyes on the Lake, it's a program that teaches people how to look for aquatic invasive species. So anyone out on the water can protect Lake Tahoe while they play. Go to keeptahoeblue.org and you can find out where to get that smartphone app. You can be out there having fun and actually inform these guys that were on the show earlier about how to get out and protect it. So there's a role for everyone, and a really easy way to do it. Come check it out on our website.
Adam, Jesse, thanks for coming in on the show, and good work here keeping the lake pristine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Tahoe Real Estate Show. We'll see you next week.